Okay, so first off, I would like to say that I'm not the best at these talking points. I also want to say that I told myself that if I ever got a large platform, I would talk about these things that need to be addressed within gaming communities. But even then, I'm not well known outside of my region. I felt I had to say something about this because this one hits close to home. It's something that's been on my chest for a while, and as I continue to see it grow and be more detrimental to gaming communities, I feel I had to say something, mainly towards grassroots communities within Nintendo. And while this video may not be something new, as there are more known smashers sharing their viewpoints on this, I still feel I had to say something. It just hits too close to me, and I just want to talk about it. Alright, so I'll give a little background story about me and who I am. I'm the Shogun. I've been a game competitor for 10 years, with Melee being the game that officially solidified my interest to continue gaming competition. That on the fly, high hit stun, lose your stock with one mistake feel that you get. You know, the Dragon Ball Z, pop them in the air, extend the combos, just that all amazed me. Just that melee style of fighting. Well, I call it melee style of fighting because I can't think of any other definition to call it. If there is another definition, feel free to correct me on it. But I'll just call it melee style of fighting. And because of that, Melee will always hold a special place in my heart for gaming competitions. And competing all these years, there's something that I've always noticed that really sticks out with Nintendo and their competitive gaming communities. So I'm just going to come out and say it. Nintendo doesn't care about scenes that they have no interest with, and their fans enable that behavior. Now hear me out before you go out on a rage if you're a Nintendo fan, and understand what you are doing is only hurting communities of the games that these fans have interest in. Whatever your reason may be for defending Nintendo, whether it be nostalgia or just overall good games that Nintendo makes, because they do make some really good games, let's be honest. Blind faith only hurts these communities' growth backing Nintendo without no insight within said communities. Which in turn, if you ever join a gaming community associated with a Nintendo game, you will also be hindered. I first started getting serious as a player about Smash around the beginning of the MLG scene with Melee, where Nintendo shut down its growth into the esports world. At that time, I was furious being someone who wanted to see esports grow, so players who put time and effort could be rewarded with their skill, and also shed some light into the hard work these grassroots and small communities were putting in. But every time I brought these frustrations out to people outside of Smash, it was always met with either resentment or just showing that they didn't care. And ultimately came out with the same statement, though twisted in different ways, is always based around the idea of, well, just be thankful you even made, or they even made a game for you to play. Which in turn even made me more angry. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy that they made a game like Melee and I'm able to play something of that nature, but when you're told to just shut up and play the game, it becomes very oppressive. It's like having the inventor of pie release their recipe into the world, and when people find new and amazing ways to make said pie and have pie baking competitions, they are shut down and no one but the inventor can make pie again. Bad analogy, I know, but hopefully it drives the idea home. We just want to make beautiful wave dashing pies and show the world how wonderful they taste. So with the release of Brawl coming up and what happened with MLG, I took a break from Melee. I didn't like the direction that Brawl went with the game, so I took a break from Smash entirely, and I still had a bad taste in my mouth of what happened with MLG and the backlash that Melee players were receiving from trying to defend their game. Taking in mind also, not only was Melee getting hit from Nintendo fans, but they were also getting hit from the fighting game community, because at the time, fighting game community didn't really see Melee as a true fighting game. And though Melee showed no signs of slowing down thanks to grassroots organizers, my direction ended up going towards Project M. Project M was more fun to me in the case that the character balance was way better. It didn't have a stagnant tier list per se inside Project M, and they had regular updates to characters, stages, and all of that you would be able to have in modern games to keep it updated and fresh. To me, it was a true sequel to Melee, and so I instantly gravitated to it. And whichever theory you want to believe in, it all boils down to the same thing. Project M was shut down due to actions by Nintendo. And it's easy to say, it's just a mod, so it's illegal. But honestly, it's more than that. Given that prior to the cancellation of Melee with MLG and the known Evo cancellation attempt, if Nintendo doesn't like it, they don't want to see it grow, no matter which direction you look at it. If you still don't believe me, let's look at some directions or some examples. Let's say it's about money. They don't want to see people make money at these competitions because they see it as gambling or whatever you want to call it. Nintendo benefits from all this exposure these communities give it. People go and buy these games just so they can compete, or have bought these games just from seeing other people compete. So it's hypocritical to say that Nintendo doesn't want to see people make money while they make money off of these people. Another one that I used to hear a lot was because Nintendo wants to move on to new games and Melee is old, Project M is old, whatever that type of fighting style is old. Well, the Nintendo version of Tetris has a Masters Championship every year since 2010 to determine the best Tetris player in the world. And this is kind of a kick to the face to Project M players, but since 2016, they use modded cartridges or modded Nintendo cartridges of Tetris to make the experience better. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think it's freaking awesome, but they do use them. So it's not that Nintendo doesn't care for their older IPs. It just boils down to whatever they like. One direction I personally used to look at it was maybe just Smash. Maybe they just do it to Smash. But then I look at Mario Kart Wii for Nintendo Wii. I look at their scene and think, nope, that ain't it, because they shut them down whenever they got too big with their mods. These, as a competitor and a spectator, you should be concerned. Nintendo will work with competitive communities that they see within their interests, as you can see with games like ARMS or Splatoon. But they completely shun and eventually try to shut down things that aren't in their interests. Those are moves of a tyrant. Those are moves of somebody who has a certain idea or has certain things and only wants to see them go their way. And respectively, I can understand to an extent because they are their IPs, but when you start to shut down the communities within the IPs that are just trying to have fun with the things you created, that's very, very oppressive, as I stated before. And it's not like that these communities have asked for assistance or have tried to bring compromise with Nintendo on these things. I cannot count how many times I've seen a post, a comment, a text, a reply of someone within the Smash community asking for a Melee HD. Please, Nintendo, could we get Melee on the Wii? Can we get Melee on the Wii U? Can we get Melee on the Switch? Can we please just have something so we don't have to go through all of these hoops just to play this game? And Nintendo will either be silent on the issue or just flat out say that they're not going to update the game on a new system. So then the communities will be like, okay, we will do it ourselves then. That's how you got Project M in the first place. Nintendo will come in and say, no, you can't do it either, and we'll shut you down. Like, that is so frustrating and so oppressive to have an idea of wanting to see it come to fruition and you're constantly undermined it. With esports, now this goes more to spectators or people who aren't familiar with the Smash communities, but with esports, Smash communities have asked for esports support to make their game grow bigger for a long time, to try to get it up to spectator sports levels with games that you would see like Fortnite or Call of Duty, MOBAs that you would see like League of Legends and things of that nature. Fighting games usually don't hit that high level of spectators popularity, But Melee had that opportunity, or Smash in general has that opportunity to hit to that level. And almost every time Nintendo will either stay silent about the issue or just come out and flat out just say, no, you cannot do that. We're not going to allow you to bring our game to the spotlight unless it's a game or an idea they feel that they didn't create. They don't want it out on the spotlight. If they didn't create it, or if they didn't have their play into it, they don't want to see it grow. And that is very dictatorship like. I mean, we know they're capable of doing it because they have a backing into ARMS and Splatoon. They will back those type of games into seeing their competitions grow. But with Melee and Smash communities, it's just like, no, we're not going to do that. And I don't, it's so messed up. It's like a company that's telling you what to enjoy as opposed to what you enjoy yourself. Like they're saying, hey, you think you like this, but you don't like this like you think you like this. Therefore, we're going to do this and you're going to follow along. If that happened with any other company, immediately they would receive backlash. But because it's Nintendo, people are enabling it. And like I said, I don't know if it's because of a nostalgia or just for the fact that they make good games, but we got to be able to hold Nintendo accountable for these things also, and not just blindly turn our eye away from the situation. And you can't say that people are not blindly turning an eye towards the situation, because if you go to any Twitter or any comment with a Save Melee hashtag or Save Smash hashtag, you're usually met with opposition outside of people who play Smash, and their opposition is, well, if you don't like it, go somewhere else, basically for better or for worse. Now, it's not always just that comment, but for the most part, it's either, well, they made this for you, you should be appreciative, and all of that. And it's just, you can be appreciative and still be critical on mistakes that a company makes. And if you don't, eventually they're going to start making all the decisions for you. We will hold other companies accountable, so let's do it with Nintendo. And also, I like to say that this is starting to become the beginning of what I've seen with another company that's actually really well known. For y'all that don't know, Disney was actually this exact same way for a while. And they're basically becoming a monopoly right now, and it's not for the better. You see what they do with the Marvel series and how they limit certain things to other IPs because of money situations. I believe the Spider-Man thing was going on for a while. So Nintendo is starting to follow suit to that same idea, and we see how ugly it gets because of it. So if you still listening to this and still don't believe that this is what's happening with the Nebula, and you just feel that as a Nintendo fan, you see the Melee community is just crying and acting like a spoiled child, I mean, that's fine. You have your belief to believe what you want to believe. I'm just going to say this, that even though they're not going for your game now, eventually it will come to a point where it will happen. That's usually what happens with big corporations when people enable their behavior. They usually start cranking out things where they feel are what the community wants as opposed to what the community is actually asking for. What's that saying? They came from Melee and I did nothing because I'm not a fighter. They came from Mario Kart and I did nothing because I'm not a racer. They came for Pokemon and I did nothing because I'm not a breeder. Now they're coming for Zelda and there's no one to say anything for me. Well, exactly not like that, but you get the idea. Eventually it's going to come to the point where all these communities are going to get told what to do, how to play, if nobody stands up to them. And by the time they come for the game that you enjoy, then it's going to be too late. Okay, so I feel much better that I got this off my chest. I didn't necessarily have a main drive other than people need to stop enabling Nintendo and to say Smash. That's basically what I'm get across with this video. I mean, if you look at my rough drafts for this video, you see I just got talking points, couple of like points here, errors everywhere, and just it's insane. But I just felt I had to share this because Melee, it holds a special place in my heart. The community holds a special place in my heart. They've shown me so much love in my region, South Central region, Arkansas. And I feel I had to say something. So if you're still watching up to this point and you're not a Smash player, I just say please listen to what the community has to say. If you want other people's viewpoints who are more known, I can put some links in the description to those people. Just listen to what we have to say, man. It's really hurting right now because a pandemic is going on, and this is the only way we can try to enjoy our game, and Nintendo is shutting it down. They've been doing this for a while with games that they feel that are of no interest to them, and it really hurts those communities when all they're trying to do is grow and enjoy a game. So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave this video now. I promise. Just want to give a shout out and thanks to all the people who's helped me grow as a Smasher. Arkansas Smash Society, ASS, the whole Ash crew, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Louisiana Smash, thank you very much. Mississippi, thank you very much. Memphis, thank you very much. The whole DFW crew, thank you for my time that I had with you guys at Project M. Thank you, all you guys. It really means a lot to me. I really miss you guys, and I had a lot of fun. Just thank y'all. And if you want to follow, hit that follow button, subscribe button, and yeah, let's hold these guys accountable for their actions. So until I see you guys next time, peace, love, and show out.